I want to start by saying, Kol Halayom La'ahaya Basham HaMashiach Yahawashi. That's to say, all praises to the Father Ahaya in the name of his only begotten Son, Yahawashi. I'm going to be reacting to this video by Antonio Speaks titled The Black American Identity Crisis, as you can see on the screen. I'm really only going to be responding to... I mainly want to respond to the things that he says. I can't really address every single clip in this video. But, you know, before I do that, Antonio, if you see this video, I honestly think you're a bright brother. I don't hate you. I am a Hebrew Israelite, so I did take, you know, I'm not going to lie. I'm not mad or anything, but I did take offense to this video. I feel like it was poorly made and lazily done. I'm not saying you're lazy because you've been putting in work on behalf of the black community on the internet since I've discovered you, at least. But I think you just lack a little bit of education in this regard. Or let me not say it like that. I want to say that you're a little ignorant in this regard. And I'm not saying ignorant how other people say it, like, you know, I don't agree with you, so you're ignorant. But what I mean by that is I think the big picture that you're missing in regards to this video is how interwoven a lot of this stuff is. And I would say the Hebrew Israelites, at least, we know how to bring clarity to a lot of this stuff so it doesn't seem so clunky, disorganized, or strange. So I'm just going to let your video play. I'm going to let Antonio's video play, and I'll react as we go along.
We are natives. This our land. We are I'm the slave ships. We're not from Africa. We indigenous. I need you to listen.
Fair use, fair use.
And I need you to be getting this. We not black. We not black. Know your story, family history, the stats. We not black. That's a curse. Let's put this curse to rest.
Well, first and foremost, and Antonio's going to say this later on in the video. I did watch this video before, so I don't want you to think I'm just reacting off the cuff. I did carefully consider the things I was saying in this video, and as you can tell by my tone, I'm not attacking you, bro. But I just want to ask you, your audience, my audience, or whoever stumbles across this video, you know, I understand that we're colloquially black. You know, I have no problem with grouping myself or associating myself with people who would consider themselves black. But that's even our forefathers. If you could trace your great super great grandfather and ask him what he was, he wouldn't tell you he was black. So you can't fault us for not wanting to fall under the name of a crayon color. And I know that's the argument you hear all the time. But, you know, even our more recent ancestors that came here to the Americas from West Africa, do you think they were calling themselves black when they got here? No. You know, they probably identified with the tribe that they came from. You know? But let's just continue.
Is this not signs of a mental illness? Listen up. I don't care what ethnicity you claim to be. If you're African, if you're Jamaican, if you're Haitian, if you're Black American. In the eyes of the oppressor and the true enemy, you just another. This whole diaspora.
Now, what Antonio just said is super true. In the eyes of the oppressor, you ain't nothing but another nigga. I completely agree. I completely agree with that. However, I don't really care what the oppressor thinks, and we're not doing this, or at least I'm not doing this for public image. We're not doing this to detach ourselves from the N-word. As a matter of fact, us Hebrew Israelites, and I'm not gonna jump into the scriptures because that wasn't the intention of the video, but I believe it's in the book of Acts. Salakia, give me 1 second. Sorry guys, but as a Hebrew Israelite, I couldn't help myself. Here's the scriptures right here. As I was saying before, I was saying that we're not trying to disassociate from the N-word or nothing like that. As a matter of fact, the N-word is on our side, at least in our faith. If you look at the right side of the screen, I have the book of Acts chapter 13 and verse 1 opened up. It says, "There were now in Antioch in the church prophets and teachers, both Barnabas and Simeon, who was called what? Nigger." But, you know, I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to prove that one. A lot of you guys are probably looking at that saying, that says Niger. All right, let's find out about that. Remember, this is the ancient Greek. Dang, I thought there was a... Let me see if I can get this said out loud. Let me check something real fast. All right, as y'all can see, I got the... Oh, this is supposed to be Greek. As y'all can see, I have the Greek Google Translate on the left and the English Google Translate on the right. Just so y'all know, it's going to pronounce everything that's supposed to. I'm going to play the English first.
Niger.
All right. But in the Greek, it's pronounced, or the original text that it was written in, it was pronounced like this.
Niger.
Niger. Niger. Let's play that again.
Niger. Niger.
Niger. All right. So as far as we're concerned, us Hebrew Israelites, we're another, and I know some brothers are gonna receive this the wrong way. We are a nation full of niggas, man. So I don't know why two things can't be true at once. You could be how do I close this thing? Yeah, I don't know why two things can't be true at once. You can certainly identify as black, for I guess relatability in the American context, filling out paperwork and stuff like that. But just because you're black, that don't mean that's not the beginning and the end of your identity. You know, I'm gonna let this brother speak. Let me just close this down real fast.
The word thing is literally insane because it's doing nothing but causing division and pushing us.
I'm gonna run it back a little bit.
Nation, if you're black American, in the eyes of the oppressor and the true enemy, you just another. This whole diaspora word thing is literally insane because it's doing nothing but causing division and pushing us farther apart from true unity. Sad to say, but in 2025, my black people are having an identity crisis.
Am I Indian? Absolutely, I'm Indian. I'm a whole Cherokee Indian. That's what we are. All of your black people.
Now, I'm not gonna lie. I don't know if you selectively pick this guy. I'm gonna assume that you're an honest brother, and this is the kind of people that are coming across your page. All right. This guy on the screen is what's his name? Tassim Dizilla. You know, the dude with the headdress on the screen. What he's saying is not 100% inaccurate. There are so-called black people that happen to go back to the Cherokees, the indigenous Cherokees of this land. How they got here, that's a video for another day. But you could be a quote-unquote black man that happens to descend from Cherokees. Where this guy on the screen is going off, and by the guy on the screen, I'm talking about the guy with the native headdress. Where he's going off is by saying, we're the Cherokee. Me personally, on my mom's side, I do have Native American lineage, but it's Shinnecock. I come from the Shinnecock Nation in New York, and you can go to their reservations out east. You know, I can't stake claim to being a Cherokee. I don't stake claim to being a Taino. I don't stake claim to being Algonquin, even though the Shinnecock did have contact with the Algonquin and we spoke their language. But I can't say that I'm an Algonquin. All right? So I just don't find it fair to heavily critique people for identifying with things other than black, especially when that identifier, as long as they did the research, is more accurate than calling themselves a crayon color. Let's continue.
Are the Indians. All of us, without exceptions.
I really
But see, I'm not gonna lie, Antonio. If you're coming across dudes like that, then yes, they're goofies. That dude is a goofy, and it seems like he's trolling. I'm not gonna lie.
wish this young brother was playing, but he's dead serious. This is a TikTok creator named Tassim Dizala Teachings, and he truly believes that black people are the real Native Americans.
Hey, brother, you are African, brother.
I'm not gonna lie, I already addressed this, so I'm just gonna skip forward a little bit. I don't want to beat a dead horse. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, even though I said I'm gonna skip forward a little bit, I do want to say this. To me, this nigga's look at this man's face, bro, and I'm gonna play a couple seconds.
Hey, brother, you are African, brother. You lost your African mind, brother. Come back to Africa, brother. And I asked him, mother.
I'm not gonna lie, something's very theatrical, performative, and this brother's not serious, and if he is, he's bugged out. I hate when people pick the most bugged out people to represent a whole ideology. You know? So Antonio, I just, with all due respect, I think it was kind of unfair and disingenuous to pick this brother to represent every single so-called black person that identifies as Native American. As a matter of fact, as I said, growing up with Native Americans in my family and Native American culture, whenever I went to the powwows out east, a powwow, the Native American gatherings, I only really saw niggas, bro. I thought it was normal to be black and Native American. Real life, bro. I really thought that was just normal. I didn't even, other than depictions of niggas in movies and stuff like that, I really thought that Native Americans were just, I don't want to say black per se, but, I just thought that not anybody. I'm trying to find the right words. What I'm trying to say is I didn't think it was abnormal to be a so-called black man and happen to be Native American at the same time. All right? So I'm going to let the video play a little bit more. I'll get back to y'all later. I'm not going to lie. I almost skipped past this part. I want to react to this.
Brazil and the entire Bahamas.
For those of y'all that didn't hear what he just said, I encourage everybody to watch Antonio's video on their own without me commenting over it and everything. But he basically just said that so-called black people that look like me, and if you happen to be a so-called black man, you who look like Antonio, they happen to be the indigenous of the Americas. And I can prove that with the scriptures, but that's not what I'm trying to do today. But look at a country like Brazil. There's nothing but niggas out there, bro. Are we just gonna say that their whole entire indigenous population just got up and left? Even if they intermingled, we should see some kind of admixture that would tell us that the natives look something different than a regular so-called black man, quote unquote, right? Even Mexico, apparently they have a very large black population. I don't remember hearing any stories of niggas leaving slavery and going in droves to South America. To Mexico. As a matter of fact, I hear the opposite. My dad's side is definitely a result of the Great Migration, in which people left the Carolinas and places around that area and just moved north to places like New York, Chicago, even as far as Canada. All right, but I just wanted to explain that real fast.
Just a quick question. If we were actually the Native Americans, what would that change? Not a damn thing.
See, that's where I disagree, I'm going to be disagreeing with a lot in this video. What would that change if we found out we're the Native Americans? First, we would understand that we're not just descendants of slaves. We're much greater than that. The natives built civilizations, had their own languages. We'd start looking into things like that. Just think about it. If we found out we were the Native Americans, that would inspire different ways to dress. That would inspire getting back into cultural things that they did, such as how they planted things, such as how they made clothes, such as making baskets, right? I think the real cognitive dissonance comes in when people hear Native American, they think about Squanto and them. The Mexican looking dudes, and even though I recognize them as our brothers too, not every single Native American look like Pocahontas, nigga. That's just not accurate, man. Did some of them look like Pocahontas? Yes. Did all of them? No. What would that change? It would give us a real identity. Niggas want to be black so bad. What's black culture, bro? As a matter of fact, black culture could be whatever people paint it to be, because now these so-called white people are trying to tell people what black culture is, and I know that you counter that heavily, and we appreciate you for that. But black people don't even gatekeep black culture anymore. But when you put a specific name on it, that's something you can stake claim to and gatekeep. All right. Just think about it. How cool would it be if we found out we're the natives and we found and we had access to Native American writings and we relearned our language. Just think about if the Garifuna people, I think it's Garifuna people in Honduras. What if people kept telling them, y'all not the Garifuna, y'all are just another us. You guys are just Hondurans. They'd be speaking Spanish. They wouldn't have access to their older culture. All right.
still facing systemic racism. We still having problems in the community, and y'all worrying about being Native Americans. I'm
gonna let you finish that more.
hold your hand when I say this, my black brother. It is okay to have African descent.
And I'm not.
Okay, now this is where I agree with you to a degree. I think you're using the term African a little bit too loosely, and I think that's not good. Okay, Africa holds many different tribes and nations of people in which they do not. Historically, some of these nations did not get along. I'm not saying it was all out warfare, but we think about it. As an American, New Yorkers ain't out. We're not out here going to Ohio, just hanging out in Ohio, mingling with the Ohioan people, man. People in Florida aren't just gonna get up, hop on a plane, in droves, go to California, hanging out with the people in Calabasas. So how much more so did you think they were doing it in tribal Africa without the technology we have today? That's just crazy, man. And then on top of that, once again, you could take what I'm saying with a grain of salt, but once again, those people in the Americas, that the Native Americans, they definitely came here from Africa, man. Yeah, I said it. So and you could do your own research, and let me keep it simple. You can do your own research, but Native Americans can have African descent. What we're saying is that not every single so-called black American came straight from West Africa onto a slave boat. Some of them left Africa way before that. And I'm trying not to get frustrated, but I just feel like you didn't give a lot of these people due diligence. But hey, I'm not sure if I would have gave these brothers due diligence either if this was my first time coming across this, because they do seem a little bugged out.
Be around here trying to explain who we are, what we are. Y'all already know who we are. Y'all always trying.
I'm gonna get off this Native American thing. I'm gonna move on.
Y'all be too grown believing in this.
I'm sorry. I was watching. See, I'm actually reacting to your whole video. I'm actually tuning back in and out as I find it pertinent. This is funny, all right? Watch this.
They've gotten us to believe that we're from somewhere else. How about the Indians?
This is not the part I was talking about, by the way. And what this nigga just said is pure folly, okay?
Native Indians. Do you regard them as natives too, or you're more native than them? We're more native than them.
Yeah, that's folly. I wouldn't go as far as to say that, okay?
Interesting.
Now, I'm sorry to
We're just as native.
be the one to say this, and I don't want to put a bad rep out there to the Native Americans, but many of them owned slaves and did not like black people.
This is true. But to me, at least, that's almost like saying some black people own slaves. Are we now gonna are we gonna go through every black person's lineage, figure out which ones had slaves and ostracize them? And this is not me excusing slavery at all. But intertribal problems can arise. Just think about it today. What has being black stopped niggas from doing today in 2025? You're talking about black niggas own slaves. Well, there's black niggas killing each other right now. I'm not saying all of us do it. There's black niggas walking past another homeless black man not giving him $1. Are we saying that's better behavior as to slavery? As far as I'm concerned, it's just as bad. It's disgusting, man. I think, I'm trying to keep my beliefs out of this video because I'm trying to react to the video itself. But on my mom's side, my mom's actually a brown-skinned woman. She's unmistakably black. Okay, she's a black woman. But her aunt, and a couple of her sisters, her aunt's sisters, so my great aunts, they did not like black people. They were Native American and they did not like black people. However, they lucky I didn't live back then, because I would have just looked at them and said, bro, you are the highest yellow niggas I ever seen. A lot of these Native Americans that claim to not like black people, what they meant was they didn't like descendants of slaves. Okay? I'm not saying it's okay. I'm not saying it's right. They didn't hate you because of your skin color, man. That's just ridiculous. Tribalism was obviously more pertinent back then. But yeah, my Native American aunts, some of them did not like black people, yo. Real life. But they looked like black people themselves. They were just super light. All right?
See, that makes so much sense now. You're great.
Honestly, this is gonna be a long ass video. You're saying a lot of stuff that I feel is worthy to respond to, which is good. I'm not gonna lie. You know, even though I don't agree with a lot of it, you're saying stuff that I can at least wrap my head around, and it's not just coming purely out your ass. All right, I'm gonna let him say it.
Great grandma wasn't Cherokee. She was owned by the Cherokee. It's
Both things can be true at the same time.
crazy because you can even just take an ancestry test. And what a lot of black Americans will find out is that they have more European DNA than any Native American. I got my ancestry DNA.
I'm not gonna sit up here and pretend to be a DNA expert. One thing I will say is this though. Black people didn't. All black people that live in America today did not come off a goddamn slave ship. As we already went over, some of them were already here as Native Americans, and that thing he said about black people having more European DNA than Native American DNA. That's because a lot of us came here voluntarily from Europe. Believe it or not. Believe it or not, a lot of us came here voluntarily from Europe. As a matter of fact, I want to find something real fast, just so I could corroborate that.
So stack.
My bad. We're gonna use the whole screen up for this. I'm gonna try to do a better job to find the exact source for this, but this was written by Benjamin Franklin. Let's see. Louis Rumbaugh adds some valuable perspective to the immigration debate by citing some of Ben Franklin's thoughts on the horrors of the U.S. being overrun by German immigrants. And then this part right here is by Benjamin Franklin. Why should the Palatine Boers be suffered to swarm into our settlements, and by herding together establish their language and manners to the exclusion of ours? Why should Pennsylvania, founded by the English, become a colony of aliens who will shortly be so numerous as to Germanize us instead of our anglifying them, and will never adopt our language or customs any more than they can acquire our complexion? Hold up. Last time I checked, Germany's day is white, so why would he be worried about... why would he be saying something like this? He said we can't even acquire their complexion. Why should we adopt their language, but we can't even adopt their... why should we adopt their language and customs? Or how can that be possible? It's as possible as us adopting their complexion. They must have looked somewhat different for him to say something like that. Let's keep reading down. Which leads me to add one remark. This is still Benjamin Franklin. That the number of purely white people in the world is proportionably very small. So this is Benjamin Franklin himself saying that there's not that many white people in the world itself. All right. All Africa is black or tawny. Those are skin complexions. Okay. Let's continue. Asia, chiefly tawny. All right. So if I'm not mistaken, you guys can look this up yourselves. Tawny refers to like anybody that's like anywhere from like let me think. What's that nigga's name? Blake Griffin? Anywhere from like Blake Griffin or Drake skin skin complexion to like think like Cat Williams. You know, he's not the lightest brother, but he's also not the darkest brother. All right? Let's continue. America, exclusive of the newcomers, wholly so. Oh, shoot. And in Europe, the Spaniards, Italians, French, Russians, and Swedes are generally of what we call a swarthy complexion, as are the Germans also. All right? My bad. Give me 1 second. We're going to take a look at that word swarthy. All right, here we're looking at the word swarthy. dark colored, tawny, especially in reference to skin. An unexplained alteration of swarty from swart plus e, related swarthiness. A swarthiness is attested from 1520s, right? Swart, Old English swart, black, being of a dark hue, in reference to night clouds, also figurative, right? E, adjective suffix, full of or characterized by. Okay, oh my bad, I went way too hard. I meant to get that last definitions. Schwarze, also Schwarze, black person, somewhat derogatory. 1961 Yiddish from Schwarz, black. See, swarthy, right?
Cameroon, Western Baptist people, 10% Mali, 8% Dini and
After she's done talking, I just want to respond to something real fast that Antonio said. He said it very confidently, so I know a lot of people believe this, but just wait.
5% Ivory Coast and Ghana, 5% Scotland, 2% Wales, 2% England and Northern Europe.
By the way, I just want you guys to. I'm just gonna say this real fast. She has West African DNA, and also it seems like mostly Western European DNA as well. That don't mean your ancestors was raped by somebody white. I just want to put that out there. We just went over that. All right.
1% Sweden, 1% Spain. So basically, I'm just a typical American.
I will say this: there are some Black Americans who have Native American DNA, but it's rare.
That's untrue, all right? There are black people with... First of all, this is why I really don't deal with DNA. I never really know what the benchmark is for the DNA. Like, are they going to grave sites, digging up bones and comparing our DNA to that? Are they going off of modern colloquialisms for who's claiming what and compare people's spit? Like, I don't know, you know? So that's why I really never banged on the DNA thing. But it's not rare to find a black person that happens to be Native American. That's totally dependent on where you live.
Even if you do have a tiny drop of Native,
I'm gonna address this one more time probably, and then let it go.
American blood, your African features are clearly taking over, and everyone thinks you're black. Accept it. Deep down, this is.
I'm just gonna say this real fast. Black. The only way I'm accepting being black is as a phenotype. Real life. I know what people mean by black phenotypically. But we cannot pigeonhole a nigga to being something else. That's like me looking at your dreads right now. I think those are dreads. If they're not, my bad. That's like me looking at your dreads right now and assuming you're from Chicago. If you're from Chicago, great guess. If you're not from Chicago, what am I gonna say? Well, nigga, you got dreads. Most niggas in Chicago got dreads. You're clearly from Chicago. That's unfair. All right, that's not his whole statement.
Internalized hate, being labeled A, but it's rare. And even if you do have a tiny drop of Native American blood, your African features are clearly taking over, and everyone thinks you're black. Accept it. Deep down, this is that internalized hate, being labeled anything but.
Internalized hate. Me personally, if you stop your people from trying to figure out their history before slavery, that's self-hate. That's self-hate. All right, that's self-hate. There's a lot of brothers and sisters that put way too much work into figuring out what we were doing before slavery for you to deny every single possible answer without having anything real to replace it with. You can't replace bullshit with bullshit. But as far as I'm concerned, the Native American narrative upon others is not bullshit. So you accept it. You know, and I'm trying to be respectful, but that one was a little, that one was kind of out the window.
Black is better.
So real quick, I just needed to create this video because
I'll respond to this one live. Hold up.
Blood, your African features are clearly taking over, and everyone thinks you're black. Accept it. Deep down, this is that.
So real quick, I just needed to create this video because Africans keep commenting under my videos telling me that they are Hebrews. No, Africans are not Hebrews. Like, who lied to you? It seems like everyone knows Africans are cursed besides the Africans. You're not Hebrews. You're actually the descendants of Ham, the ones who have the curse.
Now, I totally understand what this sister's saying, but it's only because I've been in this truth. I've been in this belief, for those who don't want to call it the truth. I've been in the belief of being a Hebrew Israelite for a while, so I know what she's saying. This is why we don't suffer the woman to teach in our belief. So she really needs to shut her ass up. No offense. Africans. See, this is why you gotta be quiet, sister. Are we not African? Even as Israelites, we are African. We came from the continent of Africa, nigga. The land of Israel sits on the African tectonic plate. That's Africa. You know? What we mean by we're not Africans, I'm gonna, try to explain it a little better because she fucked up the whole explanation. What we mean by we're not African is we're not kin to people like the Dikembe Mutombo. We're not kin to the Nilotic tribes. Give me 1 second.
Black people.
Alright, this is what we mean when we say we're not African. And before anybody says anything, I'm not shitting on anybody's culture. Alright? I'm just pointing out some differences. Do you not see these niggas, man? Now, I'm not being colorist, and I need people to be honest before I say what I'm about to say. The average so-called black man is not midnight black like that. Look at Antonio on the left side of the screen. They make that nigga look light-skinned. It's crazy. If you guys watch some of my videos, I'm a pretty dark-skinned brother. I am not as black as them Hamites, bro. Do you see them niggas, man? I mean, granted, they got paint and stuff, I think. So let's pick a different picture. Hold on. Sorry, guys. Let's X that out. Alright, let's look at these people. You can tell by their bone structures, these are different people. As a matter of fact, the Nilotic people are known for deadass being like 7 foot on average. Contrary to popular belief, yes, I've met some pretty tall black niggas. Contrary to popular belief, unless you're watching the NBA, every nigga's not 6 foot something, man. And even if every nigga was 6 foot something, we'd still be a whole head or two shorter than the Nilotic people. Are you kidding me? People gotta stop being lazy with this kind of stuff. If you look at her nose, yes, they're very similar, right? But what I would say, on average, we have, I don't know how to explain it. We have like, it's gonna sound funny. A lot of black people have fat noses. Hers seems a little flatter to her face. Look. Even the lip color. I'm not sure if that's makeup or not. But look, he has pink lips on the left side of the screen. These niggas' lips are black. Look. Look at the way the eyes sink in and the cheekbones rise. Those are different people. Alright? Let's continue. Honestly, I gave the explanation. I'm not gonna let this sister finish. Sister, if you see this, please stop talking. We love you to death. Please stop talking. Cut your damn TikTok off. If you want a TikTok, make TikTok about brushing your daughter's hair or something. Because you're making us look bad.
Hatred here.
I'm not trying to violate. I'm not even trying to violate. She was clear. I listened to everything she just said. She's clearly bugged out. I'm not gonna lie. She was taught wrong. She was taught wrong. Alright? She was taught wrong. And nobody should listen to her in specific to get deeper understandings and actual knowledge. My bad. If I wasn't clear enough, what I was just going over is that you can be African, but that doesn't make you automatically related to everybody on the continent. As a matter of fact, Pan-Africanism is something new. Pan-Africanism was never real. That's a new invention. That's the real identity crisis. Niggas trying to start Pan-Africanism. That's cause you're dark skinned and I'm dark skinned, we gotta get along. Nigga, I'm for my people first, tribalistically. What are you talking about, man? Alright, what he's about to say is the real reason why I jumped out the window Okay,
divide and make us fight with each other than the real enemy. This lady is a Hebrew Israelite. Now, I did some research on them, but I didn't go too far.
and that's the problem. Everybody feels like they can talk about us Hebrew Israelites without even really listening to the niggas that know something. Y'all find one or two videos and just start running with it, man. It's crazy. It's crazy. Now, you have a zeal for your people, so I think that you'll repent at some point if somebody explained it to you properly and brought you into the faith and explained your lineage. But that I'm sorry, brother, that's bullshit. Antonio, that wasn't fair. I started this video very respectful, you know? But that's bullshit. What other people or anything, what other topic are you allowed to address without doing the research? And the fact that you had to specify that you didn't go too far, that tells me that you probably don't even understand why she believes that means you didn't even go into why she believes she's an Israelite in the first place. You know, Antonio, please. No homo, I'm begging you. Please hit me up, man. My Instagram is Alayashah Yahawada on Instagram, yes. That is ALAYASHI _ Yahawada. YAHAWADAH. I don't know if I spelled it right. I suck at spelling out loud. I can write and type anything up, but spelling out loud is awkward and weird. Shut up. Anyway, point is, I'll leave my Instagram in the comments if you're willing to hit me up. Please hit me up, alright? But yeah. That's just not fair.
Basically, they believe that black people are already in America and they are the real Jews. Bro,
Okay, see? Now you're conflating shit. What we really believe, in consternation to the Native Americans and I guess other black people. First of all, I think you're using the term Jew a little loosely. What the Israelites believe is that so-called black people, Hispanics, and Native Americans en masse, all right, there's other people that, you know, got scattered in different places of the world that look a little different, but they're still our brothers, all right? We believe that so-called black Hispanics and Native Americans are the descendants of the Israelites. That's why she's a Hebrew Israelite and not a Hebrew Jew. That's not even fair, man. And what we really teach, is that the Northern Kingdom, or the Kingdom of Israel, after they left Assyria, came to the Americas pursuant to I want to say 2nd Esdras chapter 13. You can do your research on yourself. Even Christopher Columbus came here trying to discover America off that same account, believe it or not. You guys can look it up yourself. But that's not what this video is for. But yes, Christopher Columbus did come here looking for that place that the Israelites went to pursuant to 2nd Esdras. All right? So that's the 10 tribes of Israel. The others, the ones that didn't go, went through a couple other captivities and eventually were held captive by the Greeks. The three tribes of the southern kingdom, that being Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, are more colloquially known as the Jews. So no, we don't believe that the Native Americans are Jews. That's retarded. That's retarded. Like, the Jews didn't come over here after they left Assyria. Come on, man. That's mad lazy. That was a lazy take right there. We believe that the Native Americans are Israelites, but they're not specifically Judites, Levites, and Benjamites. They would be Issacharites, Reubenites, Manassites, Ephraimites, Gadites, etc. So yes, we do believe in Native Americans. A lot of them are Israelites, but don't say that we said that they're Jews. That's where you're making stuff up.
And be Native American, Jews, Vikings. Like, god damn, can we just
believe it or not, Jews didn't always or Israelites didn't always keep their forefathers' customs. As a matter of fact, that's why we got That's a video for a different day. But the point is, that's like how do I put this? That's like meeting a Chinese person, and then matter of fact, that's like meeting a Korean person, saying that they were let's say thousands of years in the future, they said that they contributed to the pop scene, and people counteracted that point by saying America started pop, as if people can't go in and out of certain different cultures or customs. That's a better word to use. People can change their customs throughout history. I don't know why people can't see how somebody can be a descendant from a person and then just change their customs entirely. That's just human history. What, would you want your forefathers to come back to life and not claim us because we're not wearing dashikis? That's fucking retarded. And I hope you understand how fucking retarded that is.
He black.
A lot of people believe they African American. A lot of our people believe they black. You don't got black skin, and nobody brought you on nobody's slave ship. So like I sitting up here, like I said, the reason why our people in the predicament they're in, you look at these neighborhoods around here, and you see a lot of decay, a lot of abandonment, you see a lot of poverty out here. You know why that is? Decay, a lot of abandonment, you see a lot of poverty out here. You know why that is? You know why that is? Because our people have accepted that they're black people.
Hell yeah, bro. It's because we put.
Definitely. You know, I just now I'm starting to understand a lot of you niggas just aren't spiritual. To call yourself black is to detach you from any other culture. You know? You sitting up here like we said we're the indigenous Koreans or something. Like let's be for real, man. Your skin's not black. Antonio, I think you got a very beautiful brown complexion, man. Why would you accept that you're black? Like some asphalt, man. That's crazy.
Label on ourselves. It's not because of things like redlining and the war on drugs.
Yes. But if we had a real culture to refer to, with codes and customs to refer to, maybe we would have had more community. You know? And I'm not saying we had no community at all, but we had to kind of make it up as we go here in America. As opposed to saying, this is what our forefathers did, and I love you because you're an Israelite. No matter what you may do or say to me, you're an Israelite first, we gonna get out of this. But nah. I don't think you understand what slavery does to, what that did to our nation, man. House niggas, Uncle Ruckuses. Yeah, all that's all under that black banner, man. But I digress.
And most of the families having no father in it, or the gang violence, it's because we labeled ourselves as black people and not Jews. So we on TikTok right now, and I want y'all to follow my Antonio Speaks page.
But yes, I thoroughly believe that if we went back to our heritage and claimed that we're Israel again, we'd be way better off than we are right now. Why? Because we would have to keep our law, statutes, and commandments and uphold the people around us to do the same thing. There is no American statute, nor is there any quote-unquote black codes that keep a brother from sleeping with the next man's wife. You know? There's no American... How do I put it? Yes, drug dealing is wrong, but amongst black people, what's stopping niggas from selling their brother crack, man? Did you know under the law... I'm not going to say that doing drugs is unlawful according to the Bible, but it's certainly unlawful to give your brother something knowing that you can hurt him. I would never deal crack to a brother because that would be breaking the law to love my brother as I love myself. I wouldn't want nobody to sell me crack, so how am I going to look at the next black brother, the next Israelite brother, and sell him crack, man? It's really as simple as that. But you know, you're black and you got it all figured out, right?
So we're on TikTok right now,
and now... This is actually, I was looking forward to this part of the video. Now I get to address you directly with the words that you're saying.
I want y'all to follow my Antonio Speaks page. I got 12K followers. I'll be dropping gems. A few days ago, I made a video addressing the situation because it was getting...
Congratulations on your many views and stuff. Once again, I think you're doing a great thing, speaking out on behalf of the black community, but this one was off.
Out of hand. What's so bad about having African descent? My nigga, you're not Cherokee. Like this whole...
They could be.
FBA movement, I know I'm gonna get some hate, but bro, it's so stupid to me. We sitting here arguing about who African and who not. My nigga, they look at us the same way. This is exactly what
I'm kind of behind the FBA. I agree with you on that FBA point. I think the FBAs took it upon themselves to distance themselves from every other kind of black person that could help us. Once again, I don't expect the Hamites to help us. I don't expect Dinka Malinka and goddamn Manute Bo to help me out. I just don't. You know? But you know, I definitely think that it would be a mistake to ostracize Jamaicans, Trinidadians. It would be a mistake to ostracize the Guyanese. It'd be a mistake to ostracize even amongst cultural lines. And I be talking my shit, but you know, it'd be dangerous to separate Southerners from Northerners or West Coasters from East Coasters amongst the black community. You know, so I'm definitely behind you on the FBA point.
They want to continue to divide us, bro. The more we argue with each other, we not arguing at the real goddamn.
However, I will give the FBA movement points on at least trying to gatekeep our identity as a whole. That's where I give niggas points. You know, somebody from Zimbabwe not gonna pick up, just pull up with a plate in their lip and that big ass head talking about they black and they part of the black community. Hell no. Sorry, that's not happening.
Target. Now, this video ended up getting 24,000 likes and 3,000 comments. Goddamn. Now, I did have a lot of people that agree with me, man. This person right here said proudly African American. Me looking at people who look just like me say that they're not African. Like, for real. Exactly. We all have the same enemy. Now, on Instagram.
That's not quite true. There are many dark-skinned nations around the world that are not your fucking friend. And you be an idiot to believe that people are your friends simply because they're not white. That's what it's starting to sound like. That's a mistake. As an Israelite, I believe that our problems are bigger than the white man himself. He's the goddamn devil, yeah. But the other nations were pretty complicit in our downfall too. Who came here to free us, man?
Instagram, y'all.
And before y'all say the white man ratified the Constitution, no, he still made it quite legal to be a slave. If you read the 13th Amendment, if you go to jail, you could be a goddamn slave.
Swear my people are lost. The first comment says, "You're uneducated. Read more books, then come back."
Look, man, she said it. I didn't. I'm not even saying you got to read books. I think a lot of education could be learned online. You can learn online, which is why I'm even more mind blown. I'm not gonna lie. If this is the 70s, bro, yeah, reading is not for everybody. I'm not gonna lie. You know, picking up a book and reading into boring history, that's not for everyone, yo. But now you got people making all kinds of videos, visuals, podcasts, all that, and you still saying shit like this. It's ridiculous.
Somebody said, "We're not African, bro." Bro, you lost, my boy. Boy, learn your history, Negro. We not African. Go learn your history. We aren't Africans. We're Hebrews. Two different nations. Oh, my fuck.
See, that nigga don't know what he's talking about. He don't know what he's talking about. And I already explained that, so I'm not going to beat the horse again.
Blacks on IG are just pure entertainment. Sad to say, bro, but this is how everybody view us.
Antonio, you've kind of implied this sentiment. I'm not gonna throw it on you. I remember I used to kind of do the same thing. Stop giving a fuck what people think. That's the only reason why you're pushing back a lot of these people, because you care how it looks on the outside looking in, and you can't say you don't, because you just showed I don't know what that person was, but you showed a non-black person's comment concerning how entertaining we are. Why are you not airing out niggas like that instead of airing out niggas trying to figure out where we really come from, what our native language is? Being black will keep us speaking English. Being black is not going to bring us back to where we came from, you know?
Clowns. I get the whole argument that black Americans are Americans. Yes, we are. But to just straight up deny...
By definition, yes, we are. By culture, that's more arguable.
Our African ancestry is stupid as hell. So my father, right?
What's our African ancestry? You know what? This is gonna be the be all and end all. I'm probably gonna cut it off right here. Since you want to bang on this African, matter of fact, I'm gonna let you speak. My bad.
From Jamaica. I have aunties over there right now.
So you're Jamaican. Okay.
uncles, my grandfather, he just passed away last year. I couldn't go make the funeral because it was in Jamaica. On the other hand, my mom is from Georgia. Her mom and her grandparents are from there. Do you want to know the difference between her family and my father's family? On a ship coming from West Africa, my dad's family got dropped off in the Caribbean, and my mom's family got dropped off in America.
I'm not gonna lie, particularly with Israelites, we'll tell you the same thing. And we try to break down we're the ones really trying to end the diaspora war. We're really the ones trying to end the diaspora war. Antonio, I behoove you to look up the 12 tribes chart. Not only does it include black people, it also includes Hispanics who intermingled with us. Heavily, man. As a matter of fact, where I grew up, it was nothing but niggas, Caribbeans, and Hispanics, man. If you think that Hispanics and black people are in their arms, you live in Delulu land. Seriously. Alright? I know on the street level, like with gang politics and stuff, it's not quite the same, but I'm not a street nigga. And I know you don't come off as a street nigga either, bro. And I commend you for that. And a lot of you niggas gotta stop acting like you from the streets. That's a different point, but, you know. But what I'm trying to say is we're the one trying to end the diaspora war. We're trying to bring all of our West African brothers together. I'll name a couple nations in that, and this is what I mean. A couple Ghanaians, Nigerians, people from Sierra Leone, Cote d'Ivoire, or the Ivory Coast rather. You know, I have no problem saying they're Israelites. But when you start pushing further west, when you start pushing further east, further north, and further south into Africa, those are all different niggas, man. Those are all different people. All right, and they'll tell you that. They'll tell you that themselves. All right.
We are arguing about destination stops, like I keep stating.
Agreed. Hence why you should be an Israelite. We don't give a fuck what destination you got dropped off. If you could, matter of fact, yes, if you could prove that you're our kin, or we feel that you're our kin, we're on board, man. As a matter of fact, this is the funny shit. We are so against the diaspora. I'm not even gonna do that because that might cause an even bigger issue than what I was trying to stop. So I'm gonna be quiet.
At the end of the day, we are all black. It doesn't matter because the enemy and the person that we need to be fighting look at us the same way. That's how I'm gonna end it off. That's it for this video, though, man.
Thank you, Antonio, for giving you. Thank you, Antonio, for sharing your views with us. I hope that you consider a lot of the things that I've said. And overall, I really hope you reconsider just wanting to be black. Even if you don't want to become an Israelite, please stop just wanting to be black. As a matter of fact, you just said your dad's Jamaican. Please, I would rather you walk around saying you're Jamaican than black, man. As an African American, you said your mom's African American, so you probably seen both sides of it. There's a lot more pride in having a name to your culture. When I hear Jamaican, I think curry chicken. I think reggae. I think dancehall. I think nice weather. I think mangoes and coconuts and shit. When you think black nigga, think about and keep it funky, man. And I'm not trying to talk shit about my own particular stop amongst this whole diaspora. But when you think black nigga, you think gang violence, guns, drugs, you know. But when you hear Israelite, you think righteousness. You think order. You think of being the image of God, man. So I'm gonna end it off right here. Thank you for watching, guys. I'll probably drop this as a 2-part. I'm not sure. I'll probably just drop it all together. Thanks for watching. Peace.